Hi everyone, how you doing? So great to see you here again this week on FBD TV. I'm back from my Tuesday chat as I promised after a long day of teaching in Griffith College with my beautiful design students. If anyone doesn't know me, I'm Caroline. I'm the founder of Flourish by Design, which I love to support women to unfold their true selves. I'm also a design lecturer at in our college, Griffith College, and in Dublin and Ireland. And I carve out my Tuesday evening to invite you all into my studio where we do some, create some magic. And my passion at the moment is really around answering a question. I'm always also an academic and studying masters in education, training and development, always asking deep questions and trying to find a solution to those questions for my students, the younger generation, to carve out a new, beautiful, conscious culture for the generations to come, to future proof us all, to create a beautiful world. So, this week I had promised to talk about true friendship. I'm helping to design what I would like to say is the true woman. And my question that I'm trying to answer through all of these podcasts is, can we design this true woman from the inside out? And why is that important? It's important because as women, we are asked from the outside to become so many different things. And there's a pressure for us to form ourselves and mold ourselves into many different shapes and forms that isn't true to us. It's not true to the design that we came here to become. As I always talk about the seed and the rose. So when we focus on ourselves from the core of who we are, and then we unfold that and we support that and we grow into who we were designed to be, we make the world a much more beautiful place to be. So I'm always wanting to support women in that unfolding. And through the last 10 years, I've been doing that myself. And I'm sharing my insights with you on that journey and opening up questions like I do all the time, every day with students, asking questions and, challenge you to look a little bit deeper. So this week, I wanted to talk about true friendship and how can we become a true friend to each other. And why is that so important? And how is that something that can really improve our lives? So it's an interesting question to ask women, because although sometimes, women look like they're very sociable and have lots of friends, we wonder about what's the quality of that friendship. And as I often talk about, the quality of our lives is a reflection of the quality of our relationships. And in this day, in this time, in this era in life, the focus is often on material wealth, It's the focus on how much you know, can I buy, can I spend, can I acquire, And that's what we call in the market on the markets as commodities. But the only commodity of any true value is love in this world. That might sound cheesy, but it is the truth. And when we can value our relationships above everything else, then we can become so much richer in our experience of living. And I believe some of the biggest problems in the world are due to that lack of understanding. The lack of understanding that our true value comes from within. And that at the moment, we are living through what I would call social poverty. social poverty. What does that mean? Social poverty is really a poverty of true friendship, of true connection, of true value in the relationships that we hold with one another. And I think sometimes because of the fact that our world has been designed around material wealth, that there is a lack of, I would say, maybe understanding or experience of what being a true friend even is and how do we become that, you know? How do we receive it and how do we become it? And how do we begin to value it and even know what that feels like? It's an interesting question. And for me, in that journey, this is especially important for women to think about because we are social animals, very much work together so well in community. And we've always done that throughout time. Sometimes we kind of get a little bit sidetracked and we can lose those connections, or we surround ourselves with friends that actually don't support our who we are truly in ourselves. And it makes such a huge difference to have, really special connections around ourselves, and I call it in the golden circle of influence around us. So what I'd love to do is to think about, what does a true friend mean to you? Just to put that out there to yourselves. And have you any experience of having, the connection with a friend who has really been there for you when you needed them? And if you haven't, I often think, if there's something that you really want in the world, if you would love in the world, it's something that you need to become yourself first and foremost. So, what are the characteristics of what a true friend is? I would say, first of all, I would say that a true friend, to become a true friend, first of all, you really need to see the value in that person, to really connect to the truth of who they are, the essence of that friend, and that you really are invested in them becoming exactly what they were designed to become. That you can, first of all, see that in them. So if you can look into them and look past the superficial, look past the obvious, and to really sit with them and to really see them in their soul, in their heart of hearts, I often say, then you can get a sense of what they have come here to do. And when you get a sense of that, you can really feel into the fact that that is a very, very valuable, important aspect that needs to come into the world. So when you get in touch with that, you can feel that it's because you're their friend, that it's part of your responsibility to allow that to happen, to support them in whatever way you can, for that beauty to come out into the world, that uniqueness. Each woman has a beautiful uniqueness that is here to blossom and to make the world a much more harmonious place by sharing her skills and talents. And a true friend is really in touch with that, can really see that in another. And they want with all of their heart to see you succeed. They don't feel threatened by it. They don't feel like they want to keep you, under them, or you want to keep you in a place that they're comfortable with. They actually want you to become, to blossom like the flowers around me, as much as they want to see you blossom. So it's that mutual fund, that mutually beneficial fund. So you're supporting each other, you're pouring in words of encouragement to each other. When, you can celebrate each other's wins, celebrate when your friend has done something, achieved something that has really been, I suppose, something that they felt they've never been able to do before. They wouldn't have been able to do maybe without your support, even. That they've actually stepped outside of their comfort zone and they have achieved something beyond what they thought they were capable of doing. That you celebrate them, that you can really, really genuinely be so happy for their becoming who they were meant to become. That their success is your success. And you can only get to that stage when you have that kind of security in yourself. A sign of that kind of insecurity and inability to do that is a symptom, absolutely, of you feeling insecure in who you are. So, becoming a true friend means that you need to become true to yourself first. You need to know who you are so you don't become a liability for your friend. And that their success doesn't has anything to do with you, only adds to you. That's a little bit of a journey for a lot of women, if we're honest with ourselves. Yeah? Because in the world of women, there's a lot of backbiting and bitchiness sometimes, if we're honest, that isn't supportive. And I would say, I'd ask you and challenge you to look at that. Is it something that when that happens, or when you feel that way about another woman, is it something within yourself that is calling you forth? Is really your destiny speaking to you, and that you would really love to be in that position? You would love to be doing what they're doing. You'd love to be fulfilling your destiny. You would love to be, there's something inside of you that's buried that you haven't allowed to blossom yet, and that they are just activating that within yourself. But if we were to sit with that and to look at that, we can actually use those feelings, those emotions, to realize that there is something there, that actually we could turn that around and use that person and their achievements as inspiration. To say that, wow, look at what they've overcome, and look what I can actually do too. If I just took those steps to believe in myself and to push myself out of my comfort zone, I could be doing something that I really enjoy too. And that would really fill me up, and that would really give me a new meaning in life. I would start to become larger in the world and feel like I belong. So becoming a true friend means starting to go on that journey of self-discovery for who you are too. And then it doesn't actually mean that you have to do anything, but just be yourself. Because when you have found who you truly are, that comes naturally. It comes naturally to be supportive. It comes naturally to look around you and to see everybody else's success as your own success. You don't feel intimidated. You don't feel lesser than. You don't feel in any way inadequate of anyone. in any position because you are connected to your divine design, your identity, your true identity. You know who you are, you know what you stand for, and you know what you're here to do. So it's getting to that position, then you become a true friend. So the true woman has true friends around her, and she can recognize them and she can value them hugely because a true friend is like sunlight, it's like fresh water. It nourishes the flower and it helps the flower blossom and bloom. And true friendship is there through thick and thin. Some friends, are there beside you and very comfortable around you when things aren't going well. When you're down and out, and somehow you make them feel a little bit better about themselves because, oh, you're going through hard times. But when things start to improve, or when things, you have some good news, they don't like that. That's difficult for them. And that's really showing you the truth of that friendship. It's showing you exactly, they're showing you their true colors. So I would really question that. And for you to become a true friend means the same. Can you be there when they're finding things difficult and when they're, needing help, and also be there to celebrate their successes? So can you be there for both the highs and the lows? And what is so beautiful, I must say, for I've noticed in my journey of self-discovery and over the last 10 years, and I've really, really invested so much time and study and effort and in really getting to know who I am in the world, which I'm extremely grateful for all that time. And I know exactly who I am, what I stand for, and what I'm here to do. The work that I put into that has really shown me the value of that true friend, those true friends. And the friends that I have around me are so loyal, so loving, so caring, and so valuing of me as a person. They really are exceptional. And they're the type of women that are here on a mission, like I talked about before. And what's different about that is that when we, or my friends, or a true friend is going through a difficult time, it's not to, we empathize absolutely and really feel what it feels like for them to be going through that. But we don't stay there with them. We will, what I normally do, and my friends would do to me, is to shine that mirror up to them, to show them, to remind them of their divine beauty, of what they're here, what they bring to the world, and what they're here to do. And help each other look at where may the blocks be, and something that we haven't been able to see in ourselves. So they're like our wing women. I joke about that sometimes. Yeah, they're like your wings, your wing women. So they're helping you look in your mirrors, in your wing mirrors, to find out the blind spots you haven't seen yourself, to help you move through those challenging parts of your self-development that will give you more insight into yourself and into your identity and how you can move through that next challenge. It's wonderful. It's such an amazing gift to be given connections like that. And again, it's an antidote to that social poverty that people are experiencing now, because it has the effect of feeling, richness in your life, that beautiful richness that you don't ever feel alone. There is lots of money in the bank. There's always that beautiful support for you because you invest in other people invest in you. When you give of your heart and genuinely care for people and love people in a genuine way, that comes back to you. And equally, it's important to be able to spot friends that aren't true friendship friends, or haven't learned that yet, and how that can actually be an adverse in your life. That can, you can start deducting, taking from your savings. Have to be careful of that because you can end up depleted. So it needs to be a mutual fund, mutually beneficial relationship where you can give, but you can also receive. Because sometimes women have relationships where we're giving, 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 and there's no receiving back. We can't receive, and we push away the love and support. We want to always be giving. Well, that isn't what a true relationship is built on. So you need to give and you need to receive. So it's that back and forth, back and forth. It's an equilibrium, two individuals that are on the same level. There's no power struggle between the relationship, within the relationship, within the friendship. So just looking at that for yourselves as well, just thinking and looking out for that too. Are you giving and not receiving? Or are you receiving and not giving? Are you taking, and not giving back? That's something to have a little think about too. And also think about, there's also friendships that are built around the intention is not there in a true sense of the word, where you see maybe there's friendships that are built on wanting to aspire to something that is not built on a mutual care, that it's actually, like I would say, the bindweed, that when a woman has been very strong in her life and she's become extremely strong, like a rose, the rose is the strongest stem, and it will always push through any adversity and reach to the highest heights within the garden. And even in wintertime, it has a audacity to bloom. Even in December, I have a beautiful rose downstairs, and it's amazing. I've gone out on Christmas Day, and that rose is in full bloom. And she is the greatest teacher for me I've ever had. Amazing. And she has her thorns. She has immense beauty, but she has her thorns to keep that protection in the golden circle. But often I go out and I sometimes see that there's a bindweed that's wrapped itself around the rose. Bindweed is very weak. It has no strength of its own. It just uses the strength of the rose to wrap itself around. It has no real care for the rose. It just wants to get to the top, regardless of the fact that it's choking the rose. So be careful of that. Some people will do anything to get to the top. So those type of weeds need to be cut out, and we need to be ruthless about that, because it's the rose's job to bloom, because there's a lot depending on the rose. That rose is going to attract a lot of bees, a lot of beautiful butterflies, a lot of gorgeous big bumblebees, and it creates the harmony in the garden. If it doesn't bloom, all of that busyness and that busyness and that beauty of all the insects that are flying around, they don't have anywhere to land. They don't have any pollen to share. So it's very important to make sure that that bindweed does not affect the rose. So again, so important, vitally important to have that true friendship, to become a true friend so that you can receive and enjoy true friendship in your life, true loyalty. So you can have the roses, other roses around you in the garden. We can enjoy each other and look at each other and really enjoy the beauty and the uniqueness of each of the roses. Because like I went on that tour one day a few weeks ago down to the Botanic Gardens, and I went to see the roses, and all the roses, every single one of them was so unbelievably beautiful. There was no difference between them in their beauty. They were equal in their beauty, equal in their uniqueness, equal in the position that they were in the garden. They all had their place and they all had their own special uniqueness. And that's what a true friend is. You sit across from your friend, you admire her. You admire her for who she is. You admire her for her journey in her life and how strong she has been. You admire her for her resilience. You admire her for the fact that she has come through so many winters and she's still blooming. You admire her when she's in her bud state and she's closed up and she might be scared, like I saw last week. I explained last week, she's in her bud state before she opens up to the world. A true friend and becoming a true friend is a journey in valuing that, in valuing the fact that of other people's uniqueness. And the journey is finding and tapping into the value of your uniqueness first. Then you have the ability to see the value and the uniqueness in other people. Until then, it can be difficult for women to appreciate each other. So I'd encourage you to think about that, and also to really to think about who and celebrate those friends that you do have that you know are true friends to you, and that you have that beautiful warm feeling in your chest when you think about them, and you know that just there for you. They are there for you through thick and thin, that they are, bring so much richness to your life, and that you're walking this life, this journey with them, that this life is an adventure that you're on together, and that all the riches in the world cannot compete with what a true friend can bring to your life. So I'll let you have a little think about that. And I'll wish you, so much richness in practicing that and becoming a true friend. Because you're also modeling that to other women. it's so important because when you think about, being working in branding and working in that area, a lot of the corporations, and I would say the dark side of branding is about competition. It's about pitting women against each other, and it's about making us feel lesser than. It's, I would say, a social manipulation that's in our air every single day when we turn on our computers and when we look outside. Every piece of communication is designed for women to compete against each other. So really, you're breaking the mold and you're being radical, revolutionary if you decide that you're going to go against the status quo and become a true friend. Because a true woman has true friends, and she is a true friend. So that's your homework for the week. Have a contemplation about that, and any decision you always make, I would say, needs to be true to you, and that's how you unfold yourself. Self. So becoming a true friend. If you can do that, you'll be a rich woman. So I hope that maybe was thought provoking for you, and that you can actually think about, between now and next week, have you had any close, true friends in your life during your life? And are there any true friends that you're maybe out of contact with and that you'd love to reconnect with? And it only just takes a message and takes a phone call to reconnect with somebody that maybe you'd love to reconnect with and that has been a true friend to you in different time of your life. Sometimes life gets busy and we have children, and sometimes we forget to invest in ourselves, in that connection between women, and to build up those true friendships. We'll be all the richer for it. There's beautiful new friends that we can also create as well when we start to move into circles that are aligned with us in our values. There's always opportunity to make new friends, new true friends. So I'd love to encourage you to really think about that and to invest in that mutual fund of true friendship. Okay, guys, so I'll leave it there with you, and I'll talk to you next week. I have another idea that I'd love to talk with you next week, and we'll keep building that true woman, designing her from the inside out. Bye. God bless.